thanks so much for coming back. So it's raining again outside, and I am taking this opportunity to just sit and spin for a little bit. And I am having so much fun with this gray corridale that I just got. This is actually the first time that I have worked with a fiber I didn't card myself, actually that I haven't taken from my own sheep and washed and carded. And oh, this is just dreamy. It is, I'm loving it. A little bit of a learning curve in getting it as thin as I would like. So I'm not very good at spinning and talking at the same time. But, you know, one question that I get a lot is, about buying a used spinning wheel. I know a lot of people really are looking to get into spinning, and spinning wheels are expensive, man. A new spinning wheel is like almost $1,000. Seriously, once you buy the spinning wheel and then, the bobbins and everything, my gosh, it's a lot of cash. So getting a used spinning wheel is definitely a really good way to go. But knowing what to look for can be really tricky, especially if you're new to spinning. There might be a lot of cuts in this video as I grab my next bat of fiber because I'm just not super great at spinning and talking at the same time, but I think it's good for my brain and we're gonna give it a go. So anyway, let's talk about buying a used spinning wheel. It's a great way to get your hands on a first spinning wheel. And there are a few tips that I give people whenever they reach out to me looking for suggestions about how to buy one. They ask, how did you get a good deal on a spinning wheel? What should I look for? And I do have a few suggestions. And I think the most important one is try to spin on as many different wheels as you can before you go looking for your own. And I know that in the midst of a pandemic, that is so hard. We're not going to county fairs and going to the spinning tent and trying all of the different spinning wheels and, going down to the Grange and being there for spinning night and getting a chance to try other people's wheels. Some of those things are still really hard and it's sad and that is tough, but one thing that, I've always encouraged people to do if you possibly can is if you have friends that spin, any opportunity that you get to try a spinning wheel and just get a feeling for the different brands, the different styles, see what you enjoy. There are different spinning wheels out there that are expensive, great wheels that you might actually not enjoy as much as the one that you end up settling on. And so a really great first step as you're first thinking about setting aside a little stash to be able to buy a used spinning wheel is just spin on as many wheels as you possibly can. Get a feeling for the style that you enjoy. And again, once the county fairs are going again, a lot of times, like here in Maine, we have MOFGA, the great big fair kind of up north from us. And there's always a spinning tent, and that's a great chance to see a lot of different wheels in action and actually get to try them. So trying to spin on as many different wheels as you can and know what you like before you're in the market is just a really great step. Another good key point is to know the parts of a spinning wheel that will help you spot a fake. Spotting a fake is a really important part of the hunt. And it's not so much that there are all these deceptive people out there trying to sell their fake, decorative spinning wheels on Craigslist, but it actually is a real problem. And people are doing that mostly in good faith, I think. What's going down is that back in the 60s and 70s, we had, the kind of back to the land movement, and people were really getting into all the arts and crafts and spinning and all of those homemakey things, and that's wonderful. But it really did create a market for all of these decorative fake spinning wheels that were made, overseas, and they were made very cheaply, and the most important thing is they weren't made to spin fiber. They don't have everything that's needed for actually spinning fiber. And this is the biggest tragedy that I see when I'm talking through how to buy a spinning wheel with people. Man, I have actually shed some tears with some really sweet ladies who squirreled away for months, you know, trying to be able to buy a used spinning wheel, and they saw this one that looked amazing and they got it home and they like send me a video or a picture. Like, I can't figure out how to make this work. Can you help me? And some of the saddest news they've ever given anyone is, oh sweetie, this machine that you just plopped down your $100, you know, your whole squirrel stash on is never going to spin fiber because it's not made for it. So you know what? I'm actually going to take a quick second with my spinning wheel. Let's stop spinning for a minute and just talk about the parts of a spinning wheel and some things to look for, how to spot a fake when you're looking for a used spinning wheel. And one of the first things to do is, does the spinning wheel you're looking at have a maker's mark? Let me turn mine around. This is a Lewitt, and you can see it's got the maker's mark stamped right on the end. Now, some of the older, you know, if you're talking about a 150, 200-year-old spinning wheel, no, it's not going to have a maker's mark on it, and that's okay. And that is a tricky thing about it, because most of the fake spinning wheels out there are made to look 150 or 250 years old. And usually they're either the really big, huge standing wheel, the great wheel design, or the smaller flax wheel design. And so they are made to look old. But if you really take a look all over that spinning wheel, a lot of times underneath, sometimes underneath the bar here, you'll see stamped made in Taiwan or something like that. Run for the hills. If it's made to look 200 years old and you see made in, fill in the name of the country, that's probably, you know, it's a good sign that it very well could be a fake. Another important thing to do, and again, if you can get your hands on your spinning wheel that you're considering buying, I really encourage you to see it in person if you possibly can. Let's take the spinning wheel apart. If the flyer, which is this part right here, it's got the hooks on it, and the bobbin are all in one piece and can't come apart, it's not made to spin. You are supposed to be able to take your bobbin and your flyer apart. Chances are that's not a real spinning wheel. Another giveaway is if the flyer does not have any hooks on it and doesn't have holes where the hooks used to be, that's probably a decorative piece. If the hooks themselves are these really, really flimsy pieces of wire that could not possibly handle the tension of a piece of yarn being pulled, you know, and spun around, if it's a teeny tiny little thin filament that is just bent to be a decorative hook, that's something else that's a warning sign. I'm gonna see if I can give you a closer look at this. If there is no orifice, which is, see this hole right here? This is where the yarn pulls through, so it goes from the bobbin, that's where you're pulling it through, it's spinning around. If there's no orifice, that's another giveaway. So, you know, I think how that happens a lot of times, and so much of the time, it's nobody's fault. It's not that some, you know, skeevy liar is trying to sell you a decorative piece and promise you up and down that it's a spinning wheel. A lot of times I think what happens, you know, and I've seen this, is Grandma's spinning wheel sat there in the living room for so many decades that when she passes away, you know, people fondly could almost swear that they saw her spinning on that. It's become part of their family history, and they really imagine that Grandma spun on this, and, you know, they might not have the ability or the desire to spin, and they just want to see it go to a good home, and they really believe that they're selling an actual working wheel. You know, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, it's not always the case, but I think chances are it's not so much that somebody's trying to sell you a fake, it's that a lot of times if you're finding a working spinning wheel that's $100 or $150, a lot of times that's a situation where somebody has inherited an estate and they don't know what they have. A really good tip is join the spinning groups on Facebook, because the amazing people in there are so knowledgeable. It's like having access to a 24/7 encyclopedia, because these Facebook groups have people from all over the world. They're like in every time zone, and spinners love to help people get started spinning. They would love to help. When I first bought this spinning wheel, I had a really hard time figuring out which model it was. I knew it was a Lewitt, but I couldn't figure out which model I might have, and very quickly people were able to help me and say, "Oh, you have an S75, it's a wonderful wheel." They told me about how it's was the first spinning wheel they ever owned, and they still like it better than their expensive Ashfords. And people are always so glad to help. So join a Facebook group for spinners, and if you've got a question about a spinning wheel that you're considering buying, usually it's fine to snap a picture and say, "Hey, can I think about it?" If people aren't banging down someone's door waiting to buy this wheel, you might have a minute to be able to just take a picture and share it in the Facebook group and say, "Hey, does anybody have any insight on this wheel? Does this look like it would be a good deal? Do you see anything wrong with it?" Try to get some pictures from different angles. If you have a friend who is a spinner, or if you join one of these groups and can share a couple of pictures within the group, people are usually so tickled to help you buy your first used spinning wheel. They're happy to help give you any information they might have about it. And as spinners, I think we're always looking to get other people addicted to it because it is such a wonderful art form. It's such a joy, and when you get hooked on something, it's fun to share the fun. A good way to get your hands on a great spinning wheel at a good price is to set an alert on Craigslist. If you have, an active Craigslist community in your area, I'm actually going to link in the comments below to how to set a Craigslist alert. That's how I got this one. If you can set an alert so that you're looking for a spinning wheel, if you're specifically looking for a brand, go ahead and include that in the search terms. But I think sometimes it helps to just put the word spinning wheel and then the price that is your price range. Set an alert for that so that it goes straight to your email and you're one of the first people to see that listing. It really makes it so that you can jump on it once your dream wheel gets on, comes on Craigslist for a price that you can afford. And that was how I got this. I was able to quickly get the listing forwarded to my email and send the follow-in email right away. And I mean, within an hour, he said he had like 40 emails, but mine was the first because I'd had that alert set. And so it is really competitive trying to get your hands on a great used spinning wheel. Sometimes if you've got a fiber store in your area, they may act as a dealer for used spinning wheels. Again, you're probably going to pay a little bit more, but you might also have knowledgeable people who can help get you set up and make sure that you have a great wheel that is functioning and working well. Because I am not super great at spinning and talking at the same time, I have a hunch this is a really rambly video today, and so I thought it might be helpful to just quickly recap. Really there are 4 key points for, buying a used spinning wheel that I think are helpful. The first is try to spin on as many wheels as you can. Know what you like. The second would be know the parts of a spinning wheel and be able to spot a fake. That is a really important part of the process. Get to know other spinners, either friend some spinners that you know on Instagram, or even better, join one of the Facebook groups for spinning, because those folks are so knowledgeable. It is like having 24/7 access to a spinning encyclopedia. Those people are amazing. Super great resource. Make some friends that you feel like you could send a picture of a spinning wheel that you're thinking of buying and get their input on it. The 4th tip is set an alert on Craigslist or eBay. Sometimes you can get a good deal on eBay, but usually because eBay is something that's not so local and you'd have to get it shipped, chances are you're not going to be getting an amazing deal, like spending a total of $100 on a really great spinning wheel. Craigslist, if you have an active Craigslist community in your area, and listings come up for spinning wheels frequently, Setting an alert on Craigslist would be my fourth tip, so that you're able to be one of the absolute first people to see that ad, and you can act quickly and snap it up when a really great deal comes along. And again, you'll know it's a really great deal if you've been trying spinning wheels and you know what you're looking for, and you have a community of people that you can consult about, do you think this would be a good wheel? All right, just wanted to recap that really fast. And again, thank you so much for spinning with me today. Good luck. All right, I hope this has been a little bit helpful. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'm also going to link to a whole post that I have about tips for buying a used spinning wheel, because it is a question I get quite a bit. And if there's anything I forgot, it'll be over in that post. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.